Welcome to Truth, the game show where we award a $1 million prize to the contestant chosen by our audience. We have 6 challengers hooked up to lie detectors, which I'll be monitoring. In every round, we ask each of them 5 questions chosen by our audience. Then we vote one off based on their answers. Let's meet our contestants. Why don't you each tell me a little about yourself?
I'm Joe. I'm 28, and I'm from Philly. Let's go Eagles.
My name is Alexis, and I'm born and raised in Beverly Hills.
My name is Sam. Hello. And I recently moved out here to Hollywood to get in the film industry. And I've been writing a long time before I even got to town. And I've got a lot of scripts. I'm willing to show them. Hit me up. And I'm very excited to be on the show.
I'm Autumn. I'm a California native, and I grew up right here in Los Angeles.
Hi, I'm Claire. I've never been on TV before. I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
I go by Lilith, and I'm from Van Nuys, California.
Let's see what the audience wants to ask first. What is your most embarrassing guilty pleasure?
I love bad movies. Movies that are so bad that then they're good. Because it's just like so entertaining how bad they are. Like Sharknado. That shit sucks, but it's good, Or like, what does the fox say? Oh, that's a song, but it's so bad that I like that song, Stuff like that, yeah. Bad things become good things for me.
What is your biggest fear?
My biggest fear is dying. I mean, duh, like, I don't want to die. Not in any particular way. People are like, oh, I don't want to drown or get eaten by a lion. Like, I don't care how I go. I just don't want to be dead,
If you could have any superpower, what would you choose?
Immortality? I've heard nerds say like, oh, that would be a curse or something like that, but I don't believe that. That's BS. If I could choose anything, yeah, I'd live forever, for sure.
What do you do for a living?
I work at a distribution center where I drive a forklift. Pays pretty decent, and I get good overtime.
What is your proudest accomplishment?
I broke so many school records when I played high school football that I couldn't even name them all. I knew I wasn't good enough to go pro, but I'm willing to bet that a lot of those records still stand today.
You're the conductor on a runaway trolley. There are 5 people ahead of you on the tracks who do not have time to get off the tracks. If you continue forward, you will run over all 5 and they will die. You cannot stop the trolley, but you can change to an alternate track where there is only 1 person on it. If you choose to change tracks, the 5 people on the first track will live, but the 1 person on the alternate track will be run over and die. Do you change tracks?
I don't know anything about trolleys, but if I had a job driving one, I'm sure that they would teach me how to handle that situation in trolley school.
What is your biggest fear?
Getting a pimple. I've known people who have had one and they say it's awful. That's why I do a strict regimen of cleansing, toning, and moisturizing to make sure I don't get one. I heard it can happen to anyone.
Have you ever cheated on anyone?
No, I would never do that. And I've proven it. I was asked out by Ryan Gosling, and I said no. I was dating a guy at the time. We weren't serious, but I don't cheat.
What is your most embarrassing guilty pleasure?
Prima Cinema. It's this service where you can watch a new movie at home the day it's released in theaters. I love watching movies. And I have a home theater, so why wouldn't I use it?
What is the dumbest thing you ever did?
I once bought this outfit and I posted on Instagram, #newoutfit. What I didn't realize is that I posted in the same exact outfit that I bought a few months earlier. People thought I was lying, but I just forgot that I bought the same outfit. People still bring it up in the comments to this day.
What would you do with the money?
Well, I've been working on a film for several years. It's kind of like my main baby when it comes to screenwriting, but I haven't had the capital to produce it. It's a superhero film, but get this. In most superhero movies, someone gets powers. They either become the good guy or the bad guy. What if they just still remain a guy and they don't use the powers? Maybe they're like, they try them out, but then they're like, you know what? I'm just going to stick to my regular life. And it's a superhero film that turns into just a slice of life normal guy film because he doesn't use them. And then at the end, when you think he's like, oh, he's about to save the day, the powers get reversed and he loses them.
What is your biggest regret?
My biggest regret. Okay. Years ago, I used to work at a video store. Back in the day and age where they actually had video stores, where you didn't have everything at your fingertips streaming. And I worked with this girl named Rebecca, and we got along so good. We were jokey, we had banter, but the thing I was oblivious to at the time was that she was flirting with me. Like, she was into me. And the crazy thing is, I had a crush on her, but I was in the dark to her feelings about me. But now, years later, I can think back. And I'm like, oh yeah, she was totally flirting with me. She, like, how did I miss that? Nothing happened. And that is a major regret. I might take that one to my grave.
What is your happiest memory?
I'm going there in my mind right now. absolutely my happiest memory was going to see The Phantom Menace on the big screen. Star Wars Episode 1. You see, let's rewind. I thought I would never see new Star Wars in my lifetime. So when that came to pass, and I found myself butt in seat, looking up in a theater, brand new, taking me to a galaxy far, far away, the iconic scroll, the Star Wars logo, the score, John Williams. I can honestly say I was never happier. Now, the quality overall of the prequels, that is another conversation. But for that frozen moment in time, kill me now. I'm good.
If you found a wallet, would you return it?
Okay. So if I found the wallet, the question of whether or not I'd return it depends. Now, if it was a 1%er, a wealthy individual, and that wallet was filled with money, I might take the money and return the wallet anonymously. If it was seemingly like just a regular person, regular working stiff, then I think I'd just return the whole thing. But if it was a Gucci wallet with gold around the sides, black card, the whole nine, I might have to take a little for myself.
What is your most unusual pet peeve?
My most unusual pet peeve would be when I'm watching either a superhero show or a movie or maybe something about a crime fighter. They're always using their superpowers. They are always fighting crime. Time out. Let's see a little bit of the rest of their day-to-day. Because in real life, like if you're, like, let's say your job is you're in the FBI. You're not always in the FBI. You go home and you're with your wife and kids, or you go to the movies, or you eat a burrito. I want to see that. Batman. Okay, you're fighting crime at night, usually. What about during the day? What about when you have to go into Wayne Enterprises? Let's see a whole Batman movie that's just about Bruce Wayne in board meetings, signing checks, looking over the budget. He's a billionaire. That's a lot of responsibilities and a lot of checks to sign. That could be a whole, how about Dark Knight rises from bed and goes into work? That's what I'm interested in. It's a pet peeve that they're only superheroing around. Yes, that's part of it, but give us a three-dimensional picture. Like Michael Knight, the Knight Rider, and Kit. Kit is a talking car, and that's pretty cool. I want to see Kit, but Michael Knight has to take Kit in for an oil change sometime. Kit has to go into the shop, get the transmission fixed. That episode, Michael Knight takes the bus to solve crime.
What's your most unusual pet peeve?
Oh, it drives me crazy when people throw away plastic bottles with the cap screwed on. I understand that people are busy and can't always do much to help the environment, but all they have to do in this case is not screw the cap back on. If they put the cap on, then there's air trapped in the bottle and it won't flatten out in the landfill. Just leave the cap off and the bottle will get crushed and will take up way less space. It literally takes less than no effort.
What is your happiest memory?
When I was in the 4th grade, our teacher had a seizure in front of the whole class and died. We got to go home early. It was a double win.
Have you cheated on anyone?
Of course I have. I don't answer to men. If I choose to hook up with a guy, he should be eternally grateful. I certainly don't have any obligations to him afterwards.
Describe a typical day in your life.
I wake up, I eat breakfast, I feed my familiars, I go to work. When I get home, I like to relax and work on my bug collection.
If you found a wallet, would you return it?
I found a wallet once. I looked up the owner on social media. It turned out to be some racist, sexist loser who was inexplicably married. I kept the cash, and I went to return the wallet to his home when I knew he would be at work. I told his wife that he left it behind during a one-night stand.
What's the most serious law you have ever broken?
See, the problem with that question is that you need to be caught, tried, and convicted for you to be breaking the law. Now, say I shoot someone. Was it self-defense? Was it manslaughter? Was it murder? Until it gets in front of a jury, we just don't know. And I'm not dumb enough to get caught and have to be put in front of a jury.
What is the most serious law you have ever broken?
I smoked a lot of weed in states where it wasn't legal yet. I guess I've technically sold it too, which would be a more serious crime. I was never a drug dealer, but if I bought a bunch and then some of my friends bought off of me, I guess that's technically selling drugs, even if I'm not charging them a markup. In terms of legal penalties, that would be the most serious. The penalties for drug-related charges are ridiculous in this country.
Describe a typical day in your life.
I live in my van now by choice. When I wake up, I usually drive to the gym so I can work out and get a shower. After breakfast, I usually work one of those food delivery apps for about an hour. I can't stand a normal job, but I can handle those apps in small doses. Once I'm done, I relax for the rest of the day. I go to the beach a lot. Every day feels like a day off because I don't have a regular day job or a boss to deal with. It's pretty great, to be honest.
What is your most unusual talent?
I know how to survive in the wilderness. I can tell what's edible. I can build a shelter and a fire. I can clean water so it's safe to drink. Just survival skills in general. I don't like being dependent on money or on society, so I learned how to get by on my own.
What's your happiest memory?
That's easy. The first time I went to Burning Man. It wasn't that I loved Burning Man. Back then, I worked myself to death at my office job. I only averaged maybe 50 hours per week, but the stress, it stayed with me all the time, so it felt like 100. Burning Man was the very first vacation I ever took. Once I got to feel what it was like to be free from work for multiple days straight, it changed my life. I stopped working a corporate job, stopped obsessing over money, and now I'm finally happy.
Have you ever cheated on anyone?
Certainly not. I have been ever faithful to my one true love, my husband, who I've not seen since the fishing trip, but he's my one and only.
What's the most serious law you've ever broken?
International piracy law. When I was lost at sea one time, I thought all was lost. But a pirate ship came by and actually rescued me. Now, you've heard bad things about pirates, and so had I, but they could not have been nicer. They gave me a job to do on ships so that I could earn my keep when I was there, and everything was going great until they got superstitious. They are superstitious, so they thought for some reason it might be bad luck that I was on board with them. So they were just about to drop me off when we got raided by a Russian Navy ship who put us all in a Russian jail for 5 years for piracy.
Describe a typical day in your life.
A typical day in my life is searching for my missing daughter, Mallory. And, really it is one of the big benefits to being homeless and unemployed is that I have no ties. I've nothing holding me back and stopping me from hitchhiking out there, getting on the road, heading to the last town that I've heard that she was in. When I get to the town, usually I find out that she's just left there suddenly. So I'll search for a soup kitchen or a dumpster, get something nice to eat, and then maybe a place to shelter until I hit the road again the next morning trying to find Mallory.
What's your favorite holiday?
Oh, well, that's easy. It's Thanksgiving. When you're homeless like I am, it's really hard to find places to sleep. But on Thanksgiving, I can sleep in front of any storefront, entrance, window, and everyone just thinks I'm queuing for the Black Friday sales, and I get left alone. It's pure bliss and just warms my heart every Thanksgiving.
What's your biggest regret?
Well, that's easy. That would be the fishing trip I took my daughter Mallory on 20 years ago. Obviously I couldn't afford a boat. So we borrowed 2 floating pool chairs and off we went out into the ocean. It was a beautiful day. Unfortunately, I got caught in an undercurrent and I was swept off to a desert island. I saw she made it back to shore. It took me so long to get off the desert island that by the time I got home, she'd moved on, and I've not been able to find her since.
That's the end of this round. We'll soon find out who will be going home after this message from our sponsor. Today's episode is brought to you by Rebecca Cartwright. Have you been injured in an automobile accident or hurt on the job? Has your case already been settled and you've been awarded a large sum of money? Call Rebecca Cartwright, 555-1258. Rebecca is 25, single, and looking for a long-lasting relationship. Must love dogs. Now it's time for the audience to vote. Please enter the selection of the contestant you think should be going home. The votes are in. The audience has voted to send home Claire. Oh, I am so sorry, Claire.
Oh, that's okay. Thanks so much for having me. It's just been so exciting to be here. And I've never won anything, so I didn't expect to win today anyway, but I'm just glad I could take part.
Okay, let's get started with round 2. Audience, choose your first question.